They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here, and y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now the young white girl comes along, and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
Just when it looked like the WNBA was finally ready to ride Caitlin Clark's rocket ship into real relevance and serious money, they tripped over their own shoelaces. And by tripped, I mean full-on faceplant. Because the league's one-woman ratings machine, the only reason fans are even showing up, is now out for the rest of the season.
Let's find out what the rest of the WNBA is going to do in terms of popularity. Yep. You've been saying up and down that, whether tacitly or directly, that, she's getting too much shine, even though we respect and what have you. We deserve our shine. Well, now's a perfect opportunity for you to prove that. If not, acknowledge her impact on the financial aspects that she brings to the table. Adopt the mentality that a rising tide lifts all boats, and learn to have an elevated level of appreciation for what she has brought to the game, and assist her in making the league even more profitable.
The meltdown was instant. Fans are furious. Talk shows are in a frenzy, and Stephen A. Smith, he's practically levitating with rage. He's calling out everyone, the WNBA bullies, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, and especially Angel Reese, who's out here faking injuries like it's part of her brand. If you're Team Caitlin, comment baby goat over baby giraffe. Let's go.
But you have to be cognizant that no matter how you step out of your house, you are now Angel Reese. And you will always be picked apart, unfortunately.
She knows this social media. She is not dumb. She's quite a brilliant young lady. She's very smart, very accomplished. And on top of it all, she is in this age where she does know social media exists, and she has exploited it to her advantage. And so when you take that into consideration, that means you're mindful of the imagery and the perception that you're assisting in creating about yourself.
Let's pause. Caitlin Clark didn't just play ball. She turned women's basketball into must-see TV. Before her, watching a random WNBA game was like a chore. With her, people rearranged dinner plans just to catch her logo threes. And how did the league repay her? By running her into the ground. They'll spin it as business as usual. But the truth? The product just collapsed faster than Angel Reese's shot selection.
Unfortunately, though, the celebration in the WNBA, it was cut short yesterday afternoon as WNBA players learned the harsh lesson: be careful what you wish for. Headline at the New York Post: Caitlin Clark sidelined with Indiana Felines announcing shock injury. Keyword: shock. This injury was shocking, but not for reasons that you may think.
Naturally, the first person to blow a gasket over the circus was Stephen A. Smith. He didn't just speak, he erupted, while others muttered limp, get well soon quotes. Stephen A. came in swinging like a one-man firestorm. He ripped the refs, the league, and the jealous players elbowing Clark since day one. Finally, someone said what needed to be said.
Fanatics also reported a 100% increase in sales for WNBA-specific merchandise. It started with Caitlin Clark. And so now that we know all of this, and we've known that for months, now we get to turn around and look and see what exactly is it that the league will do.
This wasn't just commentary. Stephen A. turned into a prosecutor, breaking down the WNBA's incompetence like evidence in court. Executives clueless, refs spineless, and the Angel Reese drama just another embarrassment. You think the league can survive without Caitlin Clark? He asked. Cool. Check the numbers, and then try not to cry.
Thanks to Clark, Indiana led the league in attendance both at home and on the road. The Fever averaged 17,035 fans at home and over 15,000 on the road. 4 teams moved home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. That's about Caitlin Clark. How do we know this? Attendance for the entire league was up nearly 50% last year. According to data from across the timeline, and Indiana led all teams with an average attendance of 17,035. That was up 319% from the year earlier.
And those numbers? Brutal. Clark-led games averaged 1.1 million viewers. Without her, barely 394,000. That's not a dip. That's a free fall off a cliff. Yet Angel Reese keeps whining about Clark stealing the spotlight. Newsflash. People don't tune in for a walking turnover who spends more time on Instagram than improving her game. Caitlin makes fans care. Reese just makes them roll their eyes.
We'll find out. We don't know yet, but I'm going to be really, really interested in seeing, Molly, what kind of effect this has on the WNBA's ratings. Because if for some reason there is a precipitous drop-off, then everybody needs to stand down and recognize the fact that the speculation or the assertions and assumptions about her being the golden goose is validated.
Stephen A. didn't just wake up mad. He's been watching the WNBA fumble for months. Legends like Cheryl Swoops throwing shade like it's their full-time job. Angel Reese hijacking interviews to play victim. And Engelbert, the commissioner, acting like Clark's rise was a happy accident instead of the only reason the WNBA is even in national conversations right now.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
Engelbert's strategy is laughable. The league stumbled into a once-in-a-generation star capable of dragging them into mainstream relevance. And how did she handle it? With weak press releases and zero plan to protect Clark. It's like finding a genie in a bottle and wasting your wish on a bigger bottle. Pure incompetence.
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
Meanwhile, Stephen A. is screaming, "I told you so." And he's right. Clark isn't just a star of the WNBA. She is the WNBA. Without her, the league fades back into irrelevance. Now, with her sidelined, the WNBA is scrambling to explain how their golden goose got battered. Stephen A. nailed it. If Caitlin is the magnet pulling millions of eyeballs, protect her and ride the wave. Translation: stop pretending this is a collective movement. It's not. It's Caitlin Clark carrying the league.
Became the first rookie with at least 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game. That was Caitlin Clark. Became the fourth different rookie to play all 40 minutes in a playoff game. That was her. I'm looking at other things. 6 different league television partners. This is last year. This is last season. Because this is the Caitlin Clark that we're talking about. 6 different league television partners set viewership records that year, her rookie year, for its highest viewed WNBA game. Do you know every one of those games included the Indiana Fever?
The receipts are clear. Clark's debut against the Sky, 2.7 million viewers, the most watched WNBA game ever on ESPN. That wasn't luck. It was a coronation. A generational star arrived, dragging millions of fans with her. And how did the league respond? Not by celebrating or protecting her. No. They downplayed her impact, pretending her dominance somehow hurt others.
Rising tide lifts all boats. And if this is the magnetic traction that draws viewers to the WNBA, and her absence over the next 2 weeks due to that quad strain is providing further evidence of that, then everybody needs to accept it, stand down, and ride that wave. I'm going to be really interested in seeing how the ratings are going to look without her over the next 2 weeks. Let's make sure we come back and ask me this exact same question after she's been gone for those 2 weeks.
Stephen A. saw it coming. He watched Clark rise while Engelbert shrugged, Reese sulked, and refs swallowed whistles. Now Clark's benched. The WNBA's in panic mode, and Stephen A. is dunking on him harder than anyone. Caitlin wasn't just another draft pick. She was the lifeline, and instead of cherishing it, they acted like it didn't matter. Now the ticket's gone, and the league's realizing too late. Clark is irreplaceable.
We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here. And y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
Bottom line, the WNBA had the golden goose and treated her like a pigeon. Stephen A. isn't just mad. He's delivering a wake-up call. Clark isn't interchangeable. She's the attraction, the reason sponsors cut checks, the reason seats filled. Without her, the WNBA doesn't just lose a player. It loses its one chance to matter.
Look, I think Stephen A. is 100% correct on this. At the end of the day, you already see people actually saying, hey, I'm not watching for 2 weeks. I'm not tuning in for 2 weeks. And it's really bad news for the Mystics and the Sky because both of those teams moved those games to big arenas. So it's like now that she's not playing, what is that attendance going to look like? The viewership, right? The viewership is going to plummet. I already know because majority of the people that's watching Indiana Fever wants to see Caitlin Clark. And sad to say it, a lot of them only want to see Caitlin Clark.
And now the consequences. Clark isn't missing random midweek, games nobody cared about. She's missing marquee, nationally televised matchups, cash cows for the league. Without her, the financial gut punch is instant. This isn't just Indiana losing a star. This is the WNBA losing the gravitational force, holding it together.
Everybody was moving Caitlin Clark games to bigger facilities because everyone was selling tickets. There were ratings. It was a ratings bonanza. Now with Caitlin Clark not playing, what do? Well, when you change your situs, guess what? You can't change it back.
Yep.
All
the tickets are literally half the price, and there are entire sections of the stadium that have not sold any tickets.
Clark isn't just a scorer. She's the magnet. She's why parents bring their kids, why casuals flip to ESPN, why jerseys sell out. Remove her, and the Fever are just another irrelevant team. And Stephen A.'s fury is simple. This was preventable. Clark wasn't just injured. She was assaulted nightly while refs looked away. This isn't bad luck. This is negligence.
2.2 million average viewers tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark and the Fever take on the Liberty.
Peaking at 3.2 million viewers is crazy for the WNBA, even for the Fever.
Became the 6th most watched WNBA regular season or playoff game.
Even in a loss, Clark pulled numbers. Against the Liberty, 2.2 million viewers on CBS, the second highest WNBA game ever on that network. That's star power. Now, without her, ratings will nosedive. Sponsors know it. Networks know it. Stephen A. knows it. And he's ready to wave the receipts on live TV.
She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had.
What stings is that this didn't have to happen. From day one, Clark was a player. But instead of embracing her, the league downplayed her, let bitter vets throw shade, and treated her as a problem, not a savior. Every ticket, every rating, Every headline proved otherwise. Now sidelined. The truth is undeniable. She wasn't hype. She was a whole show.
Ratings, high attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it.
Clark wasn't just boosting the league. She was transforming it. Families were planning vacations around Fever games. Kids were copying her logo threes. Women's basketball was finally cool, finally trending. And now fans are saying, if she's not playing, why am I watching? That's the nightmare Stephen A. warned about. Clark wasn't just the best player. She was a fragile bridge between the WNBA's past and its future. Without her, it all crumbles.
You literally cannot make this up. When she's not playing, ticket prices, merchandise sales plummet. Viewership declines when she is not suited up in uniform. The numbers do not lie, guys. Caitlin Clark is the biggest box office attraction in the WNBA. Period. Facts over feelings.
Let's call it what it is. Malpractice. Clark's been blindsided, shoved, elbowed, treated like it's hockey, not basketball. And Engelbert said nothing. No fines. No suspensions. No protection. Now fans are furious. Social media is flooded with boycotts. People are selling tickets, swearing off broadcasts. Because without Clark, the magic is gone. Watching the WNBA without her is like ordering pizza and getting handed a salad.
I mean, with Caitlin Clark being out of the picture, you know what's already happened in the WNBA? Yeah, that's right. Those ticket prices went way, 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 way down. And you would think most of the ladies in the league would want to wish Caitlin a very speedy and successful recovery, because without her in that league, it's going back to where it was before she even got drafted to the Indiana.
And now the fallout. Ratings will tank. Attendance will sag. Sponsors will grumble. And Stephen A. will be there waving receipts, roasting Engelbert, the refs, and every jealous hater who dismissed Clark as hype, because the WNBA had lightning in a bottle. Caitlin Clark was that lightning. And now with her sidelined, the storm is coming.